Actually, the topic is monsoon and depression, but the depression is already, it is included in the monsoon. Without depression, there will not be any kind of monsoon or whatever the process involved. So just monsoon, it covers everything. So first we will understand the word, how this monsoon word has come. Monsoon or Masam or weather. Masam is the Arabic word. So from that only this monsoon has come. So Masam means that is nothing but season or weather. Am I audible? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But more probably we'll think monsoon means rain. But monsoon is not, it's not direct, it's not referring to rain. Actually, it refers to the season. So season or climatic conditions or weather. Okay, so that is called monsoon. That is the root of the word is from Arabic. So here we will see the process, that monsoon, that weather condition, the seasonal condition, which helps more like Indian subcontinent to get more rain, apart from other part of the other part of the world, or you can call it as other countries also. This monsoon is more probably related to Indian subcontinent, and like Australia and other countries also monsoon are available. But this more prominent is like Indian subcontinent, that they also refer to monsoon means Indian subcontinent only, because this monsoon heavily benefits Indian subcontinent. So we will look only the monsoon pertaining to India, that southwest monsoon and northeast monsoon. The two monsoon we are going to look today or learn today. What is the science behind it? We are going to understand it. So the science is same, but the time and everything varies. Okay, that is applicable to all the monsoons throughout the world, but the period will be that the monsoon what we are getting in India is that southwest monsoon will get around after May, June, July, August, September, and northeast monsoon like after September, like October, first week of October to it goes to December and or January, like that. So we'll see in deeper, but the principle is same. How this help us to get more rain or heavy rain. So we know that you already would have read in your school or anywhere, or from any like through common sense also we can understand how this rain is happening, or this dark clouds or everything, how we are getting the rain, those cycle that we can understand from like from our common sense we can get it. But here what I'm going to add is some little bit extra information or science behind that. So first we'll start with the basic. Sun, it heats up the land, and it also simultaneously heats up the ocean. Okay, so but the relative temperature difference between the land and the ocean, if you see, land will be much hotter than the ocean. This what I'm saying is only applicable whenever there is a summer season. During summer, the land will be more hot than the ocean bodies. So what will happen because of the temperature difference? And first we'll come to the land part. Because of the high temperature, the whatever atmosphere is there is in contact with that land surface, it gets heated up. And as we know already, when there is a heat, that molecules start to gain the kinetic energy, it start to vibrate. So it start to move rapidly, so that the distance between the molecules increase. So the automatically the density will reduce. So what will happen if you see the layer by layer of like decks of atmosphere or air molecules, the molecules which are touching the surface is having higher kinetic energy because of the heat, but it has become less dense. As we know, the less dense layer will just move up. The high dense will come down because of the gravity, as we know from the that basic science. So the lesser dense air molecules, that layer of air molecules, this goes up. So there will be a what to say, that void will be created. Void means when the air is moving up, the space will be created, vacuum will be created. That time, that other, like what we say, it's not like that some vacuum is created, but it's everything happens simultaneously. When the lighter air is moving up, there will be it starts to create the vacuum. That time, the air which is like it's smooshed in from other side of the that pocket which is getting moved up, and the other pockets try to slides in. So that other pocket is nothing but the colder air that is coming from the ocean bodies. That, as you can see, that hot air has moved up because of the low density, and that void has been created. Then that ocean cool air, it started to move in. Why the ocean body is having the coolest air is because of the, it's not coolest absolutely, but relatively, when you compare with the land air and ocean air, relatively it is colder than the land air. What I mean by land air is the air which is in contact with the land. What I mean the ocean air is the air which is in contact with the ocean. So that I'm going to refer it as ocean air and land air. So because of this cool air, and it starts to move in smooth, it starts to blow towards the land. So that creates the wind. It creates the wind. So first, how the wind has been formed. So how it got formed, as we have seen just now, because of the difference in temperature between the land and the ocean, the air started to move. Why the air is moving? Because of the difference in pressure. In simple terms, if we say difference in pressure, the hot surface will have low pressure. The cold surface relatively have high pressure. So always things will move from high pressure to low pressure in case of fluid movement. In case of current, high potential to lower potential. In case of gravity, high potential energy to lower potential energy. So things will always move from there to high to low. So this is nature. So the wind flow, the basic reason for wind flow is difference in pressure that has been caused by difference in temperature due to the land mass and the water bodies. So this only happens in summer. Winter, we will see what will happen. It will happen in reverse. Winter. So wind started to move. So when the cold air is moving towards the land, so this only it's the starting process of monsoon. It looks very small, but actually it's a large amount of cold air. It's going to pass. Going to sweep the land mass. So first we'll see the southwest monsoon with the concept, whatever I said in back of your mind. Now you try to grab the Arabian Sea and the region of Kerala. So this is the land mass and the Arabian Sea. Because of the difference in temperature between the land mass and the ocean body, that winds start to move in this direction. So the southwest monsoon starts from here. Okay, it happens the end of May or the first week of June or mid of July. This happens. The wind started to blow from Arabian Sea and over Kerala and everything. It will start to move. But this wind carries a lot of water vapor, moisture, because it is coming from the ocean, right? Because the ocean boils up, it produces a lot of water molecules, right? So it carries a lot of water content, water vapor, steam, and it starts to blow. So the wind starts to blow over that region and starts to move towards the northern part of India. So when it is moving, what happens? As I said earlier, this monsoon wind. So I'm going to refer this now as monsoon wind. This monsoon wind carries a lot of water vapor or moisture. So in scientific term, we'll call it as humidity. So what is humidity? When the air or atmosphere carries more of water content or wetness, we'll call it as humidity. So the humidity in the atmosphere increases because of this monsoon wind. So when the humidity increases, the air is getting saturated. So what I mean by saturated, when the dry air, so air consists of, the mixture of nitrogen, oxygen, other gases, carbon dioxide, so many things. When the air consists of these mixtures, also dust and miscellaneous things, when these mixtures, when the water vapor also is getting added, so the saturation, they're called as humidity. Humidity increases. Then up to what level it increases is, there is one point. So beyond that, the pocket of air, the layer of air can't hold the water vapor. So what I mean, it can't hold. When the further addition of water vapor, it's like the given volume of air having a certain capacity to hold, then that pocket will move. It won't have that much amount of, I mean, beyond that, it can't carry that water vapor. So whatever that water vapor is going to produce further from the ocean body is going to add into another pocket of air, another layer of air. So when the air is reaching the saturation point, the pockets of air is dry air is reaching the saturation point, like more water vapor is getting added to it, its humidity increases. So its relative humidity goes up to 100%. Relative humidity, it goes up to 100%. That means beyond it can't hold the water vapor. So when it carries so much water vapor and it reaches the saturation point, what happens? It just move on. It is not going. So now we are going to see how the cloud is. We are going to see in just few slides how the cloud is going to form. So the formation of cloud we are going to see. So now we started the wind. Still, you think our skies don't have clouds. So this process only you are going to understand how the clouds are going to be produced. So this air is carrying the water vapor or moisture or water content and is getting saturated. So now it's moving. Okay, the air is moving. Now there is no cloud. There is no cloud. Clear skies are clear blue sky. There is no cloud at all. Only you can see because of the water content in there, you can see like fog or like mist type you can see. But how the clouds are forming, that is the biggest question. Okay, that is the serious question. Like still they are learning with the help of a lot of satellites, everything. They are learning how the clouds are forming. But now we are going to see the simple concept of the formation of cloud. Now we are having, I mean, readily we are having the air with the water vapor, the saturated air we can call. And next process, how this helps to create clouds. So first we are seeing saturation, just keep it in mind. Next we are seeing formation of clouds that we will call as condensation. These are all scientific term, but you should know it. So as I said, in the air consists of water vapor. This white circles are called water vapor. And there are dust in the atmosphere, right? Dust, crystals, so many things, particles will be there. This will call it as condensation nuclei. These are all fancy term, but just for the sake of completeness, you should know it. Condensation nuclei. Okay. So condensation nuclei. So these water vapor, so the saturated air, it is carrying water vapor. When it cools down, so what I mean by cools down, it's like how we are going to cool the saturated air, because saturated air is moving over the land mass. When the saturated air it's hitting any mountain ranges or any terrains or any slopes, it's gonna rise. Okay, it's gonna rise to the high altitude. When it rises to the high altitude, temperature drops, right? Because whatever is closer to or near, close range to the landmass only will be hotter. Whatever is above from the landmass will be somewhat colder relatively. So when it rises up, because of this physical barrier of mountains and terrains and any slopes or anything, this is one process. There are many ways to get make our saturated to get colder, but this is one of the thing I'm saying. When it rises up, it gets cool down, or the pressure drops. So what, because of that, what happens that because of the cooling, that water vapor, whatever that that atmosphere is carrying, the air is carrying, or the pocket of, or the specific volume of the air is carrying that water vapor, that molecule started to condense. For condensation, this dust also helps. Not only cooling of saturated air helps to condense this dust also. This condensation, this we call it as nuclei. On this dust only start to condense. You can see in our daily experience, any water vapor or steam, on the window you can see some like a few droplets will be there. Okay, few droplets on the window screens in a rainy day or anytime you can see, because of that water vapor or moisture is just touching the window surfaces. Because of that surface, it gets condense, and you can see the water droplets, or on the leaves or shrubs, anywhere when the steam is or water vapor is making contact with this physical surface, it starts to condense and you can see the droplets. So condensation happens like that only because when the water vapor touches any physical surface, it starts to cool down because that surface will takes the heat, so it starts to cool down. So not only cooling of saturated air, these dust also equally important for condensation. So these water vapor in our saturated air, it starts to condense around this dust and it forms the water drops. Now you have to understand the water vapor in our air, it becomes water drops. But you may immediately think it's gonna fall as rain. No, it's not gonna fall as rain. Water drops forms. It's very minute, tiny water drops. Okay, it's not gonna fall. It's gonna hang in the space. And these tiny water drops, like how it form. So many water drops going to form a big cloud droplet. Okay, still it is not under the pull of gravitation. It's not gonna fall. These cloud droplets are bundled together as cloud. So what we are seeing cloud, that puffy white thing in our sky is nothing but the bundle of these cloud droplets. Okay. So bundle of these cloud droplets. These whatever we are seeing in our sky, these clouds are nothing but the bundles of cloud droplets. So up to this, I want to know anybody's having any doubt.
Sir, how these cloud droplets come first and get together? Is there any attraction between them?
Yeah, this is nothing but just a cohesion. We will call cohesive force, like adhesive and cohesive force. You know that water molecules will join together, right? You know already because of H2O, there will be a hydrogen bonding in the water molecules, right? See, this is like polar molecules, as we have seen last class in our topic of microwave oven, right? Why the food is getting heated up because of the water content in the food. When the electromagnetic waves, it's making our molecules, the polar molecules, because polar molecules polarized, charged. So this will be negatively charged, and this will be this will be positively negatively charged. So these polar molecules, this hydrogen bonding. So another this will be negative. So this will be bonded. Okay. So because of this bonding, these it will condense together. Okay. So this condensation and this hydrogen bonding helps the cloud droplets to form as clouds, that puffy stuff. Okay. The white puffy stuff or cotton type in the sky. So now we know how the clouds got formed. So the main reason for cloud formation is air with water vapor, and it should be saturated. Saturated, what I mean, it should carry enough amount of water vapor, and when it cools down, it will give off the excess amount of water vapor for forming the clouds. And remaining will go with the air. Okay, it's not going to form as clouds. So whatever this excess amount of water vapor is there in our saturated air, it's going to form as clouds. Okay, so there are, now we have seen the formation of clouds. There are many types of clouds. Somebody is asking some question. Because the cloud droplets, so because the cloud droplets, no, it is still not having the mass. Like it's still, you can consider like air molecules only, the size of air molecules only. It's not having the mass acted upon by the gravity. Okay, so the gravitational force on this cloud very weak. It will be like you can not even this dust. Okay, since you call this dust, it's like still lighter than the dust. Okay, we can call like that, even though it is condensed over this dust, but still lighter in mass wise, still lighter than the dust, this cloud droplet. So it is not under the pull of gravitational force, and these cloud droplets will form as a cloud. See, still the cloud won't fall under the gravity, even though that puffy stuff has formed, white cloud has been formed, or the whatever we see in our sky that has been formed, cotton type, but it won't fall under the pull of gravity because that mass is not heavy enough. We will see when the mass gets heavy, like because of the more accumulation of droplets, that only we are going to encounter as rain. Okay, so definitely it's gonna fall, but not now, but anytime sooner. There are many types of clouds, so don't get scared with these types of clouds. Just for the sake of completeness and for information, you should know. So here we got 10 main types of clouds, and you can see here ranges like altitude, low, middle, and high, like 5 kilometer. Also, like it goes the range in terms of kilometer. And mainly we worried about this cumulonimbus and nimbostratus. So what is meant by this fancy name? First, we'll go with this cumulus. Cumulus means in Latin it is called heap. What is called heap? Like something is stacked up. Okay. So accumulated. So accumulated or cumulative, the word has come from cumulus, you can call. So cumulus, cumulonimbus. Nimbus is the Latin word for rain. So this type of cloud is responsible for our monsoon rain. Okay. So the whatever the monsoon wind carried the water vapor, it's gonna form either cumulonimbus clouds or nimbostratus clouds. Okay. Either these two types of clouds is gonna form. Other types of clouds also you're gonna see. So from tomorrow onwards, if you see types of if you encounter any clouds in your sky, you can just try to correlate it, what type of cloud it is. So for that purpose only I given here. So cirrus is like what we call like stagger type, layer type clouds you can see. And cirrocumulus is same way, layer type, stagger type, but cumulus means again stuffed, like cotton pockets. Okay, like puffy pockets of staggered clouds you can see. This is cirrocumulus. And altostratus. Stratus means it's a thin layer sheet. So altocumulus. Again, cumulus means heaped. So minute difference will be there, but these types of clouds you would have probably seen, right? This you would have seen. I have seen this, and I have seen, everybody would have seen this. And this also sometimes I see, and this also I see. Okay, and this is I see. Other things may be confusing for stratus or cirrostratus or stratocumulus. This will be like similar. We can't make out the difference. But these things I can find out the clear difference, right? Cirrocumulus. So leave about the names, but at least keep that image in your mind. Okay, these are the format. We'll take it everything for granted. Okay, clouds means clouds, but actually the formation of clouds is having like this terminology. 10 types of clouds are there. The formation mainly depends upon the condensation process, like we have seen in previous slide, how the condensation is happening. Based on that only it will form. When I said that the saturated vapor, saturated air is getting cooled, then only the condensation happens. That cooling is caused by many things. One thing I said, when the air rises up because of some physical barrier, that is one thing. There are so many phenomena which causes the cooling of air. Okay, like when the cold air meets the warm air will be lighter and the cold air will be heavier, it goes down. So the cloud formation happen in lower altitude. Okay, when the cold air meets another cold air which is still heavier, this cold air will goes up. So what will happen? Lower pressure, and still it cools down, and the formation will be different. So cloud formation happens with so many reasons. Okay, but whatever reasons, it should cause the saturated air to cool down. Then only condensation happens. For that cooling, so many things may help. Okay, they will call it as adiabatic cooling, convection cooling. So many fancy name they are giving. So let us not get into that. That is the topic for a different time. But saturated air should get cooled, then only we will get we will get the cloud. The formation of cloud happens because of the cooling of saturated air. So how the cooling happens, that depends. And because of this variation of cooling phenomena, and we are getting different types of clouds. So why different types of clouds existing? Because of this variation in the cooling phenomenon. So very different type. But we are in this session, like monsoon, these two types of clouds are our primary importance, like cumulonimbus. Cumulonimbus means heaped over, and nimbus means responsible for rain. Nimbus means rain. Nimbostratus, stratus means like layer. Nimbomeans, this also responds for rain. You can see these both clouds at base of the cloud. You can see it should be darker or gray. That means it's loaded, packed with heavy water droplets. Okay, so this is gonna give us rain. These cumulonimbus and nimbostratus clouds, and we have seen how the clouds have been formed because of the monsoon wind. So now we will keep our focus on these two clouds, nimbostratus and cumulonimbus. So nimbostratus, there will not be any thunderstorm or lightning. Okay, it will give consistent and steady showers of rain. Okay, so nimbostratus will give consistent and steady shower of rain showers. There will not be any thunderstorm or lightning, but cumulonimbus will have a thunderstorm. Okay, because you know the formation of cloud, why it is. You can see the how the cloud is appear here, like heaps of layers of clouds. So because of the definitely internal separation of charges will be there, and because of the difference in potential difference, lightnings, everything, all sort of things will happen. And because of this heavy tower type of cloud, inside turbulence and the separation of charges, whatnot, so many things, chances are there for formation of this thunderbolt. So cumulonimbus is responsible for this thunderbolt and lightning. I mean lightning and thunderstorm. And nimbostratus will give steady showers. Any doubt here? Okay. But these two clouds only, primary concern for our monsoon wind. This monsoon wind will form these two clouds. So at the end of May or first week of June to up to September, these types of clouds will form many parts of India, in many parts of India, and give us a lot of rain. So we are getting, now we are seeing clouds, but still we are not seeing how the rains are formed. We have seen only the formation of clouds and the types of clouds and our primary concern of these two types of clouds. But how showers happens, how raindrops forms because of precipitation. Okay, what is precipitation? These what to say that cloud droplets formed as clouds, when started to cool further, what will happen? It will start to accumulate, all the small drops join together as a big drops. Okay, and because of the big drops, and it will, the small drops will fall down. You can take one cloud like this cloud only, big cloud. So it's not like only coming from the bottom. Inside also these drops will move around. But the rain will never happen when the drops are not like what to say, that whatever cloud droplets were there before that, we were not getting rain, only like white puffy cloud was there. But the dark clouds, why the dark clouds are forming? Because of the heavy accumulation of cloud droplets, because of the cooling, because of heavy cooling, like these clouds will go up or go to the low pressure region, that is we call as depression. When these clouds go to the low pressure region or a low temperature region, it starts to expand or it starts to cool down. So because of this cooling process, that whatever water vapor is there inside the clouds, still it starts to form, still the condensation process will again happen and more cloud droplets forms. And because of that, we are going to witness the dark clouds. So from white to dark, how it happens? Because formation of so many cloud droplets due to condensation. And how this happens? Because of the cooling. When the clouds are moving or rising above towards the high altitude or the low pressure region or the low temperature region. So two things, that's all, low temperature and low pressure. And how we are going to achieve that? By moving the cloud to the high altitude, low temperature and low pressure. That's it. Or when the cloud is moving towards the slope of the mountain, towards the peak of the mountain, there will be high altitude, low pressure, and starts to cool. So only so many mountain ranges it's gonna pour. Okay, it's gonna downpour. So much showers we are going to witness in the mountain regions. So these clouds will have a large accumulation of water droplets, and because of the water droplets, that color will change from white to dark or gray, and this will cause the water droplets to fall down because of all these small water droplets join together as a big drops and fall as raindrops for us. So this process is called precipitation. So saturation, condensation, formation of cloud, and precipitation. Precipitation is when the clouds is still getting cooler, or when it is going to the low pressure region, it expands. So we call that as adiabatic cooling. When the clouds go to the low pressure region, that is a depressed region, that word you would have heard in the weather report, like depressed area, that it expands. When it expands, more condensation happens, and because of the heavy water molecule, it no longer, the cloud no longer hold the water droplets or cloud droplets. It's going to drop as rain, as raindrops. Are we clear here? Precipitation, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so saturation, condensation, then precipitation. So condensation also water vapor into liquid state only, but precipitation also, the small drops will become a heavy drops and reaches the ground. That is called precipitation. These small drops, this water vapor, when it is condensing into water droplets, this precipitation will, it can also cause another process. That is, the water vapor directly become ice crystals. So there is no no necessarily it no need to form as a liquid from gas to liquid. There is no content. There is no, like, what to say. In, there is no condition or demand that water vapor should form as a liquid. It can become solid also, like ice crystals. It can form as ice crystals. That also you can see in the, like in rainy season, we can get these hailstones, no, hailstones and ice pellets will fall. Okay, not only raindrops, the solids also it can form. So water vapor will become water droplet is called condensation. When the water vapor becomes solid, it is called deposition. Okay, the two process. After that, precipitation, the cloud starts to give off because of the heavier formation and too much weight. It going to give off. That precipitation may happen because of the further cooling of the clouds. When it goes to the depressed region or low temperature region, or when it is climbed upwards towards the mountain, further condensation happens and the clouds become more darker. So as we have seen in the previous slides, that a nimbus clouds, that cumulonimbus and nimbostratus, this we will call together as nimbus clouds. These clouds are responsible for the showers. So now, so we have started that monsoon wind has flew from this one, from Arabian Sea to over Kerala and everywhere it has moved and it has come to the Himalayan range. So this will called as southwest monsoon. This will happen in 3 months, June, July, August, September. In these months, it will reach Himalayan ranges, but the Himalayan ranges plays a crucial role in controlling the climatic condition of India because it acts as a barrier. It traps the moisture filled air to move away further. So it traps the air, and whatever air oozes in that, whatever air like smooshes in inside that, I mean, towards that barrier, it starts to pile up, like piling up towards the barrier. Because since some barrier is there, that the input is keep on coming, but still the barrier is there, it's gonna pile up. So when the altitude is increasing, when the height is increasing, the pressure drops and the temperature also drops. It cools down and the clouds give off the raindrops, as we have seen earlier. So these ranges in the state of Meghalaya, that Maasindram village and Cherrapunji, right? Maasindram and Cherrapunji are the wettest places in the planet Earth. They are saying always it is wet, the wettest planet, and wettest region in the planet Earth. These two places, Maasindram village and Cherrapunji in the state of both are in the state of Meghalaya. So why it happens? Because of the barrier, because of the mountains. And because of the mountains, it traps the moisture-filled air, saturated air, and gets cools down and forms the clouds. And the cloud still cools down. Condensation happens, and precipitation happens, and it rains. Every day it rains. Why it is not every day it's not raining for us in the southward side? Because the wind is keep on moving, right? That whatever air is filled with moisture, it's moving away. But there in the mountain range, it's trapped. So they are continuously getting rain every day. And also these Himalayan ranges, it stops the cold wind flowing from the east side, like East Asia, towards India. Okay, so these Himalayan ranges also protect us from the cold wind, which is try to enter from the East Asia. So it acts as a complete, like what to say, this formation of Himalayan ranges like plays a crucial role in controlling the climatic condition of India. If you can imagine, if it is not there, what will be the changes in our climatic condition? It's like drastic. So we are enjoying this beautiful climatic conditions and these monsoons because of the Himalayan ranges. So now, so we have seen from Arabian Sea, the southwest monsoon started, how the wind started to flow and reaches to the Himalayan ranges and get trapped there. The northeast monsoon, this is after June, July, August, September, then the first week of October, it starts. Whatever reaches the Himalaya, it starts to move towards the Bay of Bengal. From northeast side, it moves towards the Bay of Bengal. Why? Because it started to rotate, right? Revolve around the sun. The sea climate changes. Like summer, we started southwest monsoon. Then winter, when it's reaching, the temperature difference, what we have seen earlier between the land mass and the ocean bodies, become reverse now. Like ocean body will be hotter and the land mass will be colder. So because of the difference in temperature, it got reversed, and the ocean body is relatively hotter. Like we can say this is become hot and the land must become cold. So what will happen? Whatever air is there on the surface of this ocean body, we'll call it as ocean air, become lighter and it moves up. It creates the void on the surface of water body. Then whatever wind is there here, now the wind is already saturated wind, right? Saturated air, it carries a lot of moisture content. So that moves, the cold air that moves started to flow towards the ocean. So southwest monsoon started from Arabian Sea to the land, and the northeast monsoon from the land to the Bay of Bengal, it's flowing because of the change in the temperature. So the air starts, the wind starts to move from land mass to the ocean body, towards the Bay of Bengal. When it is moving, it carries all the moisture content on the land mass towards the ocean. So only in the October region, from the first week of October, in the time of October, from the first week of October, November, December, and the first week of January, so it will be like dry. Why? Because it will take all the moisture content from the air towards the ocean. So in southwest monsoon, all the moisture has been pumped inside from the ocean to land mass. But in northeast monsoon, all the moisture content and water vapor, the saturated air is moving towards the ocean bodies. When it is moving there, so as the same process that it carries a lot of moisture, and when it is moves there, it's what will happen? It touches the water body and same phenomena. It rises up. When it rises up, um, what will happen? It rises up, it cools down. The formation of clouds will happen, condensation, then precipitation may happen. So at the time of northeast monsoon, many part of the country won't get rain, but this northeast monsoon wind will go towards Tamil Nadu. So in the first week of October and November, there will be showers in Tamil Nadu. And also these cyclones forms during this period, October, November, in the Bay of Bengal. Because of this northeast monsoon only, this formation of clouds creates a huge cyclone there in the Bay of Bengal. It is one is the biggest cyclone on the planet Earth. It originates in the Bay of Bengal. Okay, so this cyclone also many times hit the coast of southern coast of India. So this is what happens in the southwest monsoon. Northeast monsoon causes the cyclones also, because of the formation of heavy this nimbus clouds, cumulonimbus and nimbostratus. Because of these clouds, we can't imagine how much volume of clouds is gonna form there. So only it creates a cyclone, and because of this cyclone, all this coastal part of India, there will be a heavy rain. So that's it with the southeast and northeast monsoon. And after January, all the monsoon retreats. That's it. Then summer starts again. January, February, March, the land is getting heated up. Then this process continues. Then after May, again wind start to move in, carries a lot of moisture into the landmass, southwest monsoon, and again retreats in the month of October. Northeast monsoon again moves back to the Indian Ocean. So this process keep on continues. So like that only we are getting monsoons in India. Any question? Any questions, guys?
Sir, in June, July months, rain starts. But
And
when rain starts, there will be thunderstorm. In June, July month time, there will be thunderstorm. But when it comes to middle of the monsoon, that thunderstorm will be less. So
okay.
why it happens?
No, what is your question? Why thunderstorm is no?
Less in
Why,
middle time monsoon.
why thunderstorm is less in monsoon?
Less in middle time of monsoon.
No, it's not like that. The phenomenon of formation of clouds, these nimbostratus will have, this cumulonimbus will cause the thunderstorm, and the nimbostratus, can't produce thunderstorm. These clouds, whenever you see these clouds, that its thunderstorm is guaranteed. Okay, this formation of clouds is not like this period there will be, there will not be any thunderstorm. This period there no. Whenever you see cumulonimbus, you just assume there will be a thunderstorm. It's purely depending upon the formation of clouds, and these formation of clouds happen because of this monsoon winds only, because it carries large amount of water vapor from the ocean bodies, and because of this large amount of water vapor, these clouds will form, and definitely there will be a showers. And nimbostratus, no thunderstorm, but consistent showers will be there for a steady showers for some few hours every day. But whenever you see cumulonimbus, like thunderstorm will happen, because the towering formation of clouds and the separation of charges, and inside the clouds there will be a turbulence and keeps the charges like a battery, positive and negative potential. So because of this difference in potential, it will have these thunderstorms and lightning will reach the earth. That is different science. So it's not like that this period only will have thunderstorm. Thunderstorm will happen, but whenever there is a cumulonimbus clouds. So how the cumulonimbus clouds forms, that depends upon the area, that also region, and the phenomenon also, whatever I said. There are so many phenomena causes the clouds. One is mountain ranges. When the saturated air touches the mountain, goes up. When the air is rising up, it gets cools down, condensation happens, clouds forms. And this formation, this is one phenomenon. There are a lot of phenomena that will be like, if I say, it will be confusing. So only I'm just telling. Main principle is we have to make the air to cool down. Then only condensation. How we are going to cool down, that depends on many factors. Naturally, it depends on many factors to cool the saturated air. One is like meeting of two different temperature air masses, and colliding in the barrier, and different phenomenon causes, and convection cooling. Like when the land is hot, it transfer the heat and becomes less denser, it starts to move up. So like that, because so many process, and also sometimes happens two or three process together, it creates, it helps to form the different types of clouds. So okay, in order to make it further, like for you to continue, they're calling it as friends. Okay, FRONTS, like a warm friend, cold fronts. Okay, because of these process, clouds are forming. These are only two fronts. They're kind of stationary fronts. Okay, this will be like further. It's not like simple science. Okay, it's deeper science. Still, people are studying. They still don't know how clouds will behave. It's so much unpredictable. So only NASA is having a lot of satellites. CloudSat is there. So many satellites studying clouds. I mean, atmosphere throughout the world, throughout the globe, to observe and get the information to learn further. So it's the science is like vast. If you go inside, I just given the overall picture so that you can just further you can develop. If you are having interest, you can further develop that. So main concept is saturation, condensation, precipitation. Saturation, how it happens, condensation, how it happens. In this variation condensation, you are getting different types of clouds. In this, these two clouds are responsible for the showers in monsoon. And in this one type of cloud will give thunderstorm, another type won't give thunderstorm. That's it. Okay. So you can go further deep into it. What type of process changes the cloud formation? So those things will carry next level. Okay. Hope I answered your question. Like cumulonimbus is responsible for thunderstorm. That's it. And cumulonimbus, when and where it will form, that's a big question mark. I mean, for us, but people are studying how cumulonimbus forms, where and when it forms. They can predict because of the low temperature and low pressure regions, and what is the surface of, I mean, landmass structure, like whether it's a terrain or mountain ranges or any slopes or ups and downs in the landmass. So many parameters controls the formation of clouds. Okay.
And sir, this is not question related to this. And I was, this is not a question related to today's class. And I have asked still questions. Some papers, silver colored papers, glows in different colors, the rainbow colors. Look in other from so other places, its color changes. So why this shows many colors?
Which one? Silver color?
Silver colored paper.
Silver
It shows
colored paper.
all rainbow colors.
No.
So why it shows all the seven colors?
No, maybe you're not audible. The like echo is there inside your room, so I can't hear your voice clearly. Like silver color paper and rainbow, I am getting. Silver color paper forms.
I will type it, sir.
Okay.